Okay, so today we're going to work on abstract sharing division. We have several videos on that already, but this video is to show the changes that were made for this year. So we're going to call this abstract sharing, but it's the 2017 version. All right, so we did a slight update to make it a little easier for scholars, especially because we noticed this year that the fact fluency for multiplication and division was just not as strong as it has been in the past. So we needed a way to work around that. And so this is how we're doing it now. Let's say that we're going to solve the problem 1,243 divided by 5. There are a few things that we're going to automatically do on our paper. First, I'm going to slide up so you can see a little bit better. And then I'm going to put over here my DMS down. We remember this as dangerous monkeys swing backwards, but really it means divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. All right. Then we're going to put in the middle, we're going to put our actual division symbol. So we're going to take 1,243 divided by 5. And then over here on the side, we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And we're going to use this to list our multiples of 5. Now, 5 is a relatively common number, and so this isn't as necessary, but this will serve to show exactly why we're doing this step. And so basically, I'm just going to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and then 50. And what we can see here is that what I've really done is 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 5 is 30, and so on, all the way down to 10 times 5 equals 50. Now, we shouldn't really need to use 10 times 5 equals 50, but you never know, so we've got it there. But we really do stop here at 10. We don't need to go past that. All right, so first we're going to start by underlining the thousands place, right? We're on the divide step, so I'm going to look at 1,000 divided by 5. In theory, yes, 1,000 can be divided by 5, but we're going to talk about it as a solid unit. So that 1,000 there is actually not able to be divided by 5. So we're actually going to extend our line here, and now it ends under the hundreds place. So we can see that we're actually dividing 12 hundreds by 5. See, wherever my line ends here, whatever place value it stops under is what place value I'm dividing. And so in this case, my line stops under the hundreds, so I'm dividing the hundreds. 12 hundreds divided by 5. Now let's say I didn't know the answer to that question. I would come over here and I look on my multiples. Where would 12 lie? Well, 12 is going to be right here between 10 and 15. So I'm going to put a line here. Now, the way we explain it in class is, if I walked into the store with $12, I could not buy something that costs 15, so I need to go for the one that's 10. So I'm going to put a box here. And what this is really saying is 12 divided by 5 is equal to 2. So I put my 2 right up here. It doesn't matter what place value I line it up with because I'm actually going to write its value. Now that was 12 hundreds divided by 5, so that means this is 200. So I'm going to put 200 there. That was divide. Multiply. 200 times 5 gives me 1,000. Now what I really can see here is if I take the basic fact, 2 times 5, I have 10. Oh, that's interesting. There's a 10 right here. So we can see how all these numbers are really starting to play together. So we have the 2 times 5 equals 10, and then we have 2 more zeros that we need to apply. That's how we get our 1,000. If there was a scholar who was struggling with that skill and was not able to do that in their head, they could find any place on their paper and just write 5 times 200. And they know exactly how to do this, right? We take 5 times 2, and that gives us 10. That was our basic fact right there. And then we take our 2 zeros, and we apply our 2 zeros at the end. All right? So that's our multiplication step. Great. Now we're left with subtract. So I'm going to subtract here. 3 minus 0 is 3. 4 minus 0 is 4. 2 minus 0 is 2. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So I'm done here. So subtract. In this version of division, subtract and bring down are the same step. Long division is where these are two separate steps. All right, so I had already done my thousands. I've already done my hundreds. So now I'm going to go from doing my hundreds to doing my tens. So notice my underline stops under the tens place. So that means that I actually have 24 tens that I'm going to be dividing. I come over here. 24 falls between 20 and 25. I know I can't buy anything at the store that's 25 when I only have $24. So I go up here. 24 divided by 5 is equal to 4. Put that there. But because this was 24 tens divided by 5, that means this is 4 tenths, and 4 tenths is a value of 40. That was divide. Let's keep going. We write to the next step, 40 times 5. So again, I could use that same strategy here and do 4 40 times 5. Use my basic fact of 4 times 5 equals 20. And then I do apply the 0. There we go. That gives me 200 right here. All right, that was multiply. Now I subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. 4 minus 0 is 4. And 2 minus 2 is 0. So I don't need to write anything there. That was my subtract and bring down step. All right, keep going. Now I had already divided my 10, so now I'm going to underline the whole thing because now I'm doing 43 ones. So I come over here. 43 falls right between 40 and 45. 8 goes up here because 43 divided by 5 is equal to 8. I don't need to apply any zeros because that was, in fact, the ones place. So 8 ones are just 8. That was divide. Multiply. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. 4 minus 4 is 0, so I leave the 3. That was subtract and bring down. Now, because the number here is less than the number I'm dividing by, I know that that leaves me with a remainder. So that means that my overall answer, my quotient for this division problem, is going to be 248, remainder 3. All right, let's give another one a shot. Let's see if we can try one more before we end this video. So I'm going to pull this paper away. All right, we're going to now solve the problem 7,231 divided by 4. All right, so we start the same way. D, M, S, down. Then I take 7,231, and I set it up, divided by 4. And I do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and then I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. And again, that's the same as doing 1 times 4 equals 4, 2 times 4 equals 8, 3 times 4 equals 12, 4 times 4 equals 16, 5 times 4 equals 20, and continuing on that entire way. All right, so we're just going to draw a line here. That makes it look a little bit easier for us to see it. All right, let's start with our first set of divisions. So we look at this here. We have 7 thousands divided by 4. So let's find the 7 over here. 7 is going to be between 4 and 8, so I just take my box. I put it just like that. All right, so 7 thousands divided by 4 is equal to 1. Because that's the thousands place, I have to write it as a value of 1,000. Divide. All right, let's multiply. 1,000 times 4 equals 4,000. There we go. Multiplied. See that 4 here? There's that 4 again. That 1, that 1. See how this list comes into play with our division. All right, so now we're going to subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. 3 minus 0 is 3. 2 minus 0 is 2. And 7 minus 4 equals 3. All right, that was subtract and bring down. I've already divided my thousands place, so I'm going to extend my division into the hundreds place. So now instead of doing just the thousands place, I'm going to do 32 hundreds. My line ends under the hundreds place, so again, that means that I'm in the hundreds. I come over here to my chart and I look for 32. Now, instead of drawing a line between two numbers like this, because I have 32 and 36 here, 32 is the actual number, so I'm not really looking for where it would fall. I actually have that number listed. Same process, it just looks a little different because the number is actually right there. All right, so I know 32 divided by 4 is equal to 8. Because that was hundreds, that makes this 800. Divide, done. Now let's multiply. 800 times 4. Now again, just like I did earlier in the video, if I was not sure how to do that multiplication at the top of my head, I can do 800 times 4. Multiply using the basic fact of 8 times 4. That gives me 32. And then I need to take these two zeros, and I need to apply them. 1, 2. All right, so that gives me 3,200. That was multiply, subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. 3 minus 0 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. 3 minus 3 is 0. All right, so I'm left with 31. So I'm going to start now just right back to the beginning where I was before. And I'm going to start by trying to divide my tens. Now, I cannot take 3 tens and divide it by 4. So I skip the tens, and I move straight now into the ones place. So now I have 31 ones. So let's look where 31 would fall. 31 would actually be between 28 and 32. So I draw my line here and go up. And now I know 31 divided by 4 is actually equal to 7. Yes, we can see that there's a remainder. We know that, but that's going to come out at the end. We're not worrying about that during this section. All right, so that was my divide. 7 times 4. 7 times 4 is 28. There's my multiply. Now I subtract. I can't take 8 away from 1, so I need to regroup. 11 minus 8 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. All right, so that leaves me with a 3 right there. Subtract and bring down is done. 3 is less than 4. That tells me that it is, in fact, the remainder. So my final answer is 1,807. Remainder 3. All right, and that is how we are now using lists of multiples to help us with our abstract sharing division. If scholars are fluent enough with the division, they can leave this step off, though I recommend that they keep that there. That's really helpful. As always, if you have any questions, please send me an email or give me a call.